So in this talk, I've suggested the fundamental lack of clarity over purposes undermines many well-meaning initiatives. The confusion is partly over the nature of digital technologies. Are these tools vital for the digital age? In which case the task is to skill children in their use and to evaluate benefits in terms of transfer, not just have they learned to use the tools, but whether as a result do they do better in maths or reading and ultimately get a better job. Or should we think about these technologies as environmental, part of the digital environment that we live in which case we have to open up the technological black box and look within and see how critically our lives are mediated in specific ways, and then drawing on the understanding of the particular shaping of these technologies, enable children to communicate, network, create and participate in the digital age. That sounds great, but then the evaluation task is across the board. And although in practice, though we can have these grand ambitions, we often focus back on learning about how to use a particular technology to the neglect of those possible wider benefits. And moreover, as Helen Nixon observed with some frustration, literacy educators are still ignoring us. Literacy educators, she said, have by and large judged research about participation in new media and online cultures to be of little relevance. Persuasive job, maybe the tipping point is coming, but there's still a big persuasive job to go. So this, of course, intersects with our dilemma over pedagogy. Essentially, do we expect new media and the internet to enhance the efficient delivery of a predefined curriculum by authoritative teachers evaluated by standardised assessment? Or do we wish it to enable alternative, student-based, peer-based, variable and creative forms of knowing? It's easy to say both, but each pushes teachers and pupils in the opposite direction, so marrying them up is implausible. Moreover, while the former has long alienated pupils, as one commentator observes of the latter, in attempting to enchant the pupils, it seems that governments are alienating the teachers. Not the teachers here, perhaps, but elsewhere. Third and last, ideology critique. If media and online technologies are shaped by the society that produced them, then many would take a step further, and in the words of Mark Marshall, situate technology within the underlying unequal power relations that exist in society. So this is to go beyond identifying and explaining change to ask whether these changes are democratic and empowering, or on the contrary, whether they reinforce and extend the interests of established forms of commercial and state power. So the crucial question here is in whose interests are these changes? For Henry Jenkins, digital media are indeed empowering, democratizing, and he celebrates their challenge to teachers, the challenge to the traditional forms of knowledge, and indeed the challenge to the school as an institution. David Buckingham, on the other hand, argues that digital media extend the reach of educational institutions into the home, curricularizing leisure, and creating a fertile ground for the expansion of a profitable marketplace of entertainment and informal learning products and services, which parents in their anxiety fall for. Of course, the contrast is not so stark, for Jenkins is optimistic about the prospects for alternative forms of learning, while Buckingham fears that these will be stifled by the persistent hold of the traditionalists. As for the evidence, it does seem that we are witnessing the configuration of pre-existing learning activities and opportunities for the majority of children and young people. Where once children went to the library to get a book for their homework, now they also search online. Where once they asked for advice from a parent, now they can also ask an expert. Where once they painted with paint and paper, now they can also do so with a paint program, posting their pictures online to share with others. And by and large, they welcome this and relish their newfound expertise and status in the digital world. It also seems that we're witnessing some genuine and new learning opportunities, centering on the possibilities of child-oriented digital creativity and on collaborative communication with those who share similarly specialist or niche forms of interest and expertise. But at present, I suggest this is only evident among a minority of young people. The new opportunities, especially if they rely on out-of-school resources, generate new inequalities. Only publicly funded institutions, schools especially, but also youth and community centres, can, it seems, make this fairer. And it's the successful embedding of these and related opportunities in the formal structures of the school and the traditional curriculum for the benefit of all children that remains uncertain. So, thank you.